let's talk about working with adjusters. And so, standard claims, roof claims versus catastrophe claims can be a little bit different. In some cases they can be the same. So, Alex, what's been your experience with some of the customer feedback from adjusters in the field that you've had? What are some of the goods and bads that you've seen in your time?
Yeah. So the good is always, he gets out there fast. He's nice and pleasant. He works with you, guides you along the way, holds your hand, and answers the phone when you call. That's always, what you're hoping for. The bad comes in sometimes when there's too much going on and the adjuster has, 20, 30 different people that he has to work with because there's a shortage of, during a big storm, and all of a sudden he's not answering your call. It takes 2 days for him to respond back to you. You're getting irritated. Then he starts getting irritated. And, you have to escalate that to the manager. So, adjusters are people, they do get overworked, and a lot of them are, just good, decent people that want to do jobs. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody that's just in a bad mood. You also get people that are, looking for every little thing just to deny your claim. That's something to be aware of. You want to make sure that it's good to have your contractor around if the adjuster's around as well. That way you can kind of keep them a little bit honest, and, he might be talking about things that you don't understand, but your contractor might know. That way he doesn't get over on you on some of these things. They kind of run the gambit sometimes with adjusters. You'll get big storm. They'll have out-of-state adjusters. They'll hire on adjusters to kind of keep up with the shortages of people getting through this stuff. Size of company is also kind of important when it comes to claims. If it's a big company, you'll probably get quicker service as opposed to a smaller company that's just not able to get to as many people as fast when it comes to that.
What can the agent do to help escalate in situations where, adjuster might not be returning a phone call, or, they're kind of nasty with the customer, it's really not a good customer experience with the carrier that they're working with? What can the agent do in that situation?
And this is why I kind of like to be involved a little bit early on with this. That way we do know everything that's happening. We can pick up the phone. We can call the adjuster. We can call the manager. We can call underwriting. We can push it along quicker. Make them actually do their job the way it's supposed to be done, as opposed to just, going with the flow and sitting back and waiting. You don't want to sit back. You don't want to push people, give them some space to work actually, but you also want to make sure that you're staying on top of them, because some people will cut the line. An adjuster will hurry up a claim with somebody else if he gets busy, and your claim might fall behind if you're just too lackadaisical when it comes to it. So you want to make sure that your agent is involved. You want to make sure that, they're the one standing in your corner, and we can do that. It's a little bit different when it's like a 1-800 company or something that you don't have an agent that's directly responsible for your well-being.
Yeah. Jeff, do you have some input on working with adjusters, goods and bads, things that personal experiences that you've had?
Yes. So I've had some experience working with adjusters that, during some of the big claims and the big storms, when insurance companies are overwhelmed, they bring adjusters in from out of town. And in fact, I had one adjuster that he flat out told me when we were walking the house together that he was taking a new job in 2 weeks and leaving. His family lived in, this was an issue here in Houston. His family lived in Montana. He had been in Houston at this point for 6 months dealing with this claim issue. And he was tired of it. So he'd taken a new job and given his notice. But his goal was to get everything wrapped up within 2 weeks so the way he could be done. He flat out told me at the house, I'm writing this for maximum policy payout. You should have everything done within 2 weeks. A month goes by and I haven't heard anything. So I contact the desk adjuster, who also hadn't heard anything. Again, no one had the desk adjuster hadn't followed up. I'm trying to not bug them, but at the same time, keep things moving so that way we can get the claimant settled. Lo and behold, the guy didn't finish his work, left for the new job, and just dumped everything.
Yeah.
Well, then they send a new field adjuster out who shows up, and only wants to give a third of the policy value when the house has been gutted wall to wall, floor to ceiling. It's like, okay, so having someone that says something versus actually does something is a huge issue. So I'm always, if you get someone to give you a quote, get it in writing.
Yeah, and I have personal experience with that as well. I mean, for the last, I won't say like the last 5-6 years, there's, to be honest, it probably would have been beneficial to have an adjuster or someone from the claims team, on the call with us, because even within that community has changed a lot with how carriers have historically functioned. It used to be they'd have in-house contractors that they send out. Then, like, I think that got too expensive for some carriers. They started contracting those out. And so you'd have some folks that would come in from out. So especially on large catastrophic claims, they'll have folks come in from out of state in some cases, get the initial work done, or at least start the initial process. And then they would move that over to another adjuster. And exactly as you just said, basically that adjuster take whatever, the first one did and just, do their own, put their own information behind it. So yeah, I had quite a bit of experience with that in the last 6-7 years with certain carriers.